Roman Witold Ingarden was a Polish philosopher who worked in phenomenology, ontology and aesthetics. Before World War II, Ingarden published his works mainly in the German language. During the war, he switched to Polish, and as a result his major works in ontology went largely unnoticed by the wider world philosophical community. Biography. Ingarden was born in Kraków, Austria-Hungary, on February 5, 1893. He first studied mathematics and philosophy at the LWOW University under Kazimierz Twardowski, then moved to Göttingen to study philosophy under Edmund Husserl. He was considered by Husserl to be one of his best students and accompanied Husserl to the University of Freiburg, where in 1918 Ingarden submitted his doctoral dissertation with Husserl as director. The title of his thesis was Intuition und Intellekt bei Henry Bergson. Ingarden then returned to Poland, where he spent his academic career after obtaining his doctorate. For a long period he had to support himself by secondary school teaching. In 1925 he submitted his habilitation schrift, Essential Fragen, to Kazimierz Twardowski at LWOW University. This thesis was noticed by the English-speaking philosophical community. In 1933 the university promoted him to professor. He became well known for his work on the literary work of art. From 1939 to 1941, during the Soviet occupation of LWOW, he continued his university activity. After the Operation Barbarossa 1941, under the German occupation, Ingarden secretly taught students mathematics and philosophy. After his house was bombed, he continued work on his book, The Controversy Over the Existence of the World. Ingarden became a professor at Nicolaus Copernicus University in Turin in 1945, shortly after the war, but was banned in 1946 because of the communist government. He then moved to the Jagiellonian University in Kraków, where he was offered a position. In 1949, however, he was banned from teaching due to his alleged idealism, supposedly being an enemy of materialism. In 1957 he was reappointed at the Jagiellonian University after the ban was lifted, and so he went on to teach, write and publish. Ingarden died on June 14, 1970 as a result of a cerebral hemorrhage. Works. Ingarden was a realist phenomenologist, and thus did not accept Husserl's transcendental idealism. His training was phenomenological, nonetheless his work as a whole was directed rather towards ontology. That is why Ingarden is one of the most renowned phenomenological ontologists, as he strove to describe the ontological structure and state of being of various objects based on the essential features of any experience that could provide such knowledge. The best-known works of Ingarden, and the only ones known to most English-speaking readers, concern aesthetics and literature. The exclusive focus on Ingarden's work in aesthetics is to some extent unfortunate and misleading about his overall philosophical standpoint. Main works in German: Intuition und Intellekt bei Henry Bergson, Halle, Max Niemeyer, 1921. Essential Fragen. Ein Beitrag zum Problem des Wissens, Halle, Max Niemeyer, 1925. Das literarische Kunstwerk. Eine Untersuchung aus dem Grenzgebiet der Ontologie, Logik und Literaturwissenschaft, Halle, Max Niemeyer, 1931. Untersuchung zur Ontologie der Kunst. Musikwerk. Bill. Architecture. Film. Tübingen, Max Niemeyer, 1962. Der Streit die Existenz der Welt. BD. I2, Tübingen, Max Niemeyer, 1964. Vom Erkennen des literarischen Kunstwerks, Tübingen, Max Niemeyer, 1968. Erlebnis, Kunstwerk und Wort. Vorträge Aesthetik 1937–1967, Tübingen, Max Niemeyer 1969. Über die Verantwortung, IHRE Ontischen Fundamente, Stuttgart, Reclamp 1970. Über die Kausalstruktur der realen Welt, der Streit die Existenz der Welt, Band 3, Tübingen, Max Niemeyer, 1974. Main works in Polish, Niektóre Zaledzenia Idealizmu Berklia, LWOW, 1931. Access date equals requires, URL equals. O Pozno Diela Literaskiego Ocelenium LWOW, 1937. O Budowie Obrazu, SZKICZ Teoria Eszetuki, Rozprawi Widzialu Filozoficznego Po Volume. LXVII No. 2, Kraków, 1946. ODL Architecture Nauka Eszetuka, Volume 2, 1946, No. 1, pp. 3–26 and No. 2, pp. 26–51. Sporowissen Yeni Wiata Power, Volume I, Kraków, 1947, Volume 2, Kraków, 1948. Skised Philosophia Literatury, Volume 1, Spoldzielnia Wydornicza Polonista, Łódź, 1947. Elementi diela muzycznego Sprorażdżenia Towarzystwa Naukowego W. Toruniu, Volume IX, 1955, Nos. 1–4, pp. 82–84. Studia z Estetyki, Pone, Volume I, Warsaw, 1957, Volume 2, Warsaw, 1958. ODL Literascheme, Pone, Warsaw, 1960. Prezezycji DLO, Wartowsk. Wydornik tu Literaki, Kraków, 1966. Studia z Estetyki Tom 3, Pone, Warsaw, 1970. Upodstore Teoriae Poznania, Pone, Warsaw, 1971. Książka Osiedlowiaków Wydornik tu Literaki, Kraków, 1972. At war muzyczny I sprawowego Tożsamości Polski Wydornik tu muzyczna, Warsaw, 1973. Main works translated into English. Controversy over the existence of the world. Volume 1, translated by Arthur Silowicz, Bern, Peter Lang, 2013. Time and Modes of Being, selection from Der Streit, translated by Helen R. Mitchedger, Springfield, Illinois, Charles C. Thomas, 1964. The Cognition of the Literary Work of Art, translated by Ruth Ann Crowley and Kenneth R. Olson, Evanston, Illinois, Northwestern University Press, 1973. The Literary Work of Art, translated by George G. Grabovich, Evanston, Illinois, Northwestern University Press, 1973. Letter to a Cell about the VIA Investigation and Idealism, in Time in Yeka, 1976. Man and Value, translated by Arthur Silowicz. München, Philosophia Verlag, 1983. On the Motives Which Led Edmund Husserl to Transcendental Idealism, translated by Anna Hannibalson. The Hague, 1976. The Ontology of the Work of Art, translated by Raymond Maurer with John T. Goldthwait. Athens, Ohio, Ohio University Press, 1989. Selected Papers in Aesthetics, ed. by Peter J. McCormick, München.